So, a very common concern I hear from folks is I want to stop using ableist, body shaming, and otherwise problematic language, but I don't know how to insult the people who deserve to be insulted without relying on those common tropes. Fascists don't modify their language to protect us. Why should we go easy on them? And the thing is, no, I am by no means suggesting you tone police yourself and be nice. I think anger can be righteous, and if you want to express your anger, you should do so, specifically at the person who deserves it, without slinging collateral damage at bystanders who happen to share characteristics with the person you're insulting. So, here's an incomplete list of, to my knowledge, not problematic insults. Please use these when you want to insult a horrible person without using language that inadvertently insults way more people than your target. Call them an awful human being. Call them a waste of carbon molecules. Call them a disgrace to whatever God mistakenly made them. Call them an amoral sack of wasted skin. Call them dog shit made flesh. Call them the most regrettable assemblage of molecules in the known universe. Call them the human equivalent of wet socks. Call them a disappointment to their species. Tell them you hope they get hit by a bus. Tell them you hope their genitals get stung by wasps. Tell them they deserve to step on broken glass every moment of their day. Tell them their opinion is as useful and as insightful as a sack full of farts. Tell them they have the moral awareness of an unsocialized raccoon. Tell them they are the reason why their kids will grow up in a world devoid of opportunities. Tell them you pity every unfortunate soul who has been burdened by their poorly supported, obviously regurgitated ideas. Tell them you'll take them seriously when their arguments aren't quoted from badly configured memes. There are lots of ways to insult people without upholding the very same systems you are insulting them for believing in. It takes practice to get used to not using problematic insults, but being conscious of the collateral damage our word choices cause is worth working at. Language primes our behavior in very subtle ways. Assigning negative connotations to body parts, ability levels, gender, race, etc., works to perpetuate the systems of inequality that marginalize people based on those characteristics. Look up priming. It's a fascinating phenomenon, and it's being used against you all the time by media, by advertisers, by literature, etc. And we also use it against each other without even realizing it. A particularly famous study on priming involved having participants check in one area, fill out a checklist involving a list of words, and then walk down the hallway to drop off the paperwork. The experimental group had words like elderly, cautious, leisurely. The control group had random words. The participants were secretly timed to see how long it took them to walk down the hallway. Those who had been primed with words we associate with slowness literally walked down the hallway significantly slower than the control group who had not been primed. I've linked an article on priming in the description if anyone wants to learn more about that. Language is incredibly powerful in very subtle, often unnoticeable ways. Changing how we speak is one way to reduce the harm we inadvertently cause. It's a long process, but it's really worth doing, and while it might seem like a small issue, it's much bigger and more far reaching than you think.